Happy anniversary to you. I made you this. Hey, it's our anniversary.
Yes,
Almost.
it is.
It's
Almost.
just a little after.
Yeah.
23 years. 23 years, but you look so young. I made Rappy Pie. Rappy Pie, what's that? Well, it's a Canadian thing. Dr. Husband's people come from Canada.
Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia, to be precise, and a precise area of Nova Scotia, the northern coast of Nova Scotia, which is the home of the Acadian people.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know about the Acadians?
Yeah.
Tell us.
No, I don't. I'm not going to. I mean,
Oh.
I remember that, No.
So the Acadians were French people who lived in Nova Scotia in the 1600s, and they were expelled by the British when the British took over Canada, and they were sent down to, well, not sent, they went down to
they
New
went down to
Orleans, and they
but
became
were
the Cajun
Acadians
people.
that stayed there, too.
Yes, there's a few Acadians.
Yes, we do know something about the
So Rappy Pie, what is it? You take potatoes,
Mm-hmm.
you grate them, finer than you would grate them for hash browns,
Mhm.
really, really tiny grate.
Mm-hmm.
You squeeze all the liquid out,
Mm-hmm.
so you end up with, 3.5 to 4 cups of potato juice, depending on how many potatoes you use. Potato juice happens to be our favorite drink. And then you mix it with chicken broth to replace all of the liquid that you squeezed out of the potatoes. And then you layer the potatoes, and then you put boiled chicken in the middle and cover it with potatoes. And then you bake it in the oven for 3 hours. And here you go, Rappy Pie.
It's quite good.
It's very traditionally made at like Christmas and New Year's, and any recipe you find online is meant to feed about 40 people.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to make some adjustments on the fly. Traditionally served with molasses, which we didn't care for.
We don't care for that.
So Dr. Husband's eating his with cranberry
Cranberry
sauce,
sauce.
and I made mine with honey. I put honey on it. Some people take it the next day and fry it in butter. Here you go. Here's how I made it. I took 5 pounds of potatoes. Most recipes call for 20 pounds, but I just used 5. Grated it, squeezed all the juice out, mixed it with the chicken broth. You have to keep track of how much potato juice you squeeze out because you have to replace it with the exact same amount of chicken broth.
Otherwise, it soaks up all the juices.
Where did the chicken broth come from? I made it. Because in the
You
meanwhile,
did.
while I'm grating the potatoes, I'm boiling an entire chicken. I used 1 fryer cut up with celery, onion, carrots
To make a broth.
to make a broth.
Mhm. And then you use the chicken. You
And then
strip
you
the skin
use-
off the
yes,
chicken
you strip
and use
and
the
grate
chicken
it
from
and
that
mix
in
it up,
the
and then you
recipe.
put it in the chicken. So, what did I do wrong? I probably should have seasoned the broth a little bit more. It's a little
Yeah.
bland.
The potatoes tended to soak up a lot of the flavors.
Yeah. And I actually probably would have used more potatoes. 5 pounds of potatoes ends up with about 1 medium-sized mixing bowl of grated potatoes.
You'd be
Could have
surprised.
used about double of that. I also mixed in some, fried some pork fatback, is that what you call it? Fatback. The stuff it's like bacon, but it's all fat.
Yeah,
Fatback. I fried that, and then I sauteed onions in that, and I mixed that in with the potato stuff.
Can't
and,
taste it, though.
You can't taste it. What do you think?
I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, it's good.
It's kind of something you'd want to eat on a cold night, or,
Mm-hmm.
if it's Christmas or New Year's and you have a lot of people around to grate potatoes with you. It's kind of like Scrapple. You either like it or you don't.
I mean, it's basically chicken and potatoes.
It's shepherd's pie.
You could
only
do-
a lot more work.
You could do this with hash browns. If
Yeah.
you wanted to sort of do a version of it. Hash browns.
Well, except the trick is that you squeeze all the starch out of the potatoes, and so when you put the chicken broth in and bake it, it turns the potatoes into kind of a gelatinous
yeah.
goo,
Yeah.
which is what attracted me to the recipe, honestly. It's potato jello.
Mm.
And in Canada, sometimes they put seafood in it. Clams and lobster and things like that. Well, that's all I have. This wasn't very exciting.
No,
Sorry.
It's good.
But-
Thank you for making me the food of my people.
You're welcome. Happy anniversary. What?
Close your mouth when you eat. What? Stop it.